There is a moment in every life when wisdom is offered, a path is shown, and a warning is given. But what happens to those who refuse to listen? This ancient tale from a past life of the Buddha holds an answer, a lesson as sharp as the hunter's snare, as final as the setting sun. Long ago, in the vast and untamed forests beyond the city of Benares, a great stag ruled over a herd of deer. He was not their leader by force, nor by mere strength, but by wisdom. Wisdom earned through seasons of hardship, through the silent lessons of the earth, the trees, and the shifting wind. He knew the scent of the hunter before his shadow even touched the ground. He understood where the forest was kind and where it turned cruel. And it was this wisdom, more than his swiftness or his towering antlers, that had kept him alive. One day, as dawn broke over the treetops, his sister arrived with her young son. The fawn was still in the spring of his youth, his coat dappled with spots that had not yet faded, his eyes full of curiosity but empty of caution. The mother, weary with worry, stood before her brother and bowed her head. "He is strong," she said, "but strength alone does not save a deer. The forest is vast, and danger hides where the careless never think to look. Teach him what he must know." The stag, who had guided many through the perils of the wild, nodded. He told the young one to return at the same time each day, to listen, to learn. There were 7 ruses, 7 tricks that could turn the tide of fate, 7 lessons that could mean the difference between life and death. But the fawn did not come. One day passed, then another. His mother urged him to seek his uncle's wisdom, but the young one was careless. He roamed where he pleased, grazing on the freshest shoots, leaping through the undergrowth without a thought for what lay beyond. He saw the world as wide and endless, filled with nothing but sunlight and play. He believed he was fast enough, strong enough, clever enough. On the 7th day, the wise stag no longer waited. Some lessons, he knew, must be learned in the way the river learns its course, by finding where the rocks are sharp and the waters run too deep. That evening, when the sun had turned the sky to embers, fate arrived. For days, a hunter had watched the trails, studying the movements of the herd. He was patient. He knew that some deer were cautious, but others, especially the young, were foolish. He set his traps in the places where the careless wander. He laced the earth with the scent of safety, covering the rusted metal of the snare with fallen leaves and soft grass. He waited, and soon enough, the fawn came. He did not know the warning signs, the whisper of disturbed leaves, the scent of iron buried beneath the soil. He stepped where he should not have, and in an instant, the snare tightened around his leg. But the more he fought, the deeper the wire cut. His strength, which had once made him feel invincible, now betrayed him. He had never learned the stillness that might have given him a chance. He had never learned how to free himself. When his mother found him, the hunter was already near. She called out to her brother, hoping for some wisdom, some trick that might undo what had been done. "Did you not teach him the ways of the forest?" she cried. "Did you not show him how to save himself?" But the stag, who had seen the path unfold before it was walked, shook his head. "I would have, had he come to learn. But when a deer has 4 swift hooves and antlers to defend himself, and yet ignores the 7 tricks that could save him, there is nothing more to teach." And so, the lesson came too late. The hunter, with steady hands and dull eyes, ended what had begun with careless folly. He skinned the fawn, took what he needed, and left only silence where life had once stood. The forest did not stop moving. The wind did not stop blowing. The world did not pause in grief. Only the mother remained, watching the empty space where her son had once stood, listening to the quiet that had swallowed his voice. The wise stag did not speak again. Some lessons, after all, are only understood when it is far too late. In the monastery, the Buddha ended his tale. The monks, who had been listening in silence, understood the weight of his words. Wisdom is a road offered, but never forced. The choice to walk it belongs to the one who listens, and those who turn away must be prepared for where their own steps will lead them.